the kitchens.
I'd like to call to order the North Aurora Village Board meeting of Monday, August 19th, 2019. We'll open with a silent prayer and meditation. Please join me in Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk call the roll, please?
Mayor Berman?
Here.
Trustee Gafino?
Here.
Trustee Lowry?
Here.
Trustee Curtis?
Here.
Trustee Carroll?
Here.
Trustee Martinez?
Here.
And Trustee Gately?
Here.
We have no audience comments. Trustee comments? Consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Clerk call the roll, please.
Trustee Curtis?
Yes.
Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
Trustee Gafino?
Yes.
Trustee Carroll?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Gately?
Yes.
Under new business, item number 1, Mr. Bosco.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item number 1 is the award of the 2019 bid for tree replacement. In this case, we're asking the village board to reject the low bid and select the second bidder. The bids that came in were very close, within $900 of each other. Both of them are substantially under the $45,000 amount that we have in the budget. The reason for the waiving or the rejecting of the lower bid is, quite frankly, the company that is the low bid is the company we used this year, and we found them to be non-responsive to our request. We've had several emails sent to them in the last few months to try to get them to replace the dead trees under our 1-year warranty, and we haven't even had a response as far as I'm aware, up to as early as this morning, and it's been at least 2 months that we've been trying, and they are obligated to do those trees. Also, we had a higher death rate from our trees that were planted in this program. Typically, we see a 10% death, and we saw about a 20% out of the seedlings that were planted. We've used the second company in the past. They were awarded the bid, I believe, the year before, and they were responsive and did a good job.
Motion approved.
Second.
Discussion?
So what's going to happen to all the trees that they have not replaced? I mean, are we going to go after them?
So we still hold their 5% bid bond. So ultimately, they have 1 year, and that 1 year is not up for a few more months. So we'll work with them to try to replace those trees. If not, we'll have to try to call their bid bond and use the funds to replace those trees.
I mean, realistically, they shouldn't plant them anyway to the fall, right? Because that's when the program starts. So maybe that's what they're thinking, but they should probably call you back. But
Yeah, I believe staff said they've sent 4 or 5 emails in the last 2 months, and not one was responded to.
So what's the 5% equate to then? What is that? The bid
Off the
bond?
top of my head, if it was in the ballpark, this would be 5% of $35,000, so $15,000, $20,000, $2,000.
And then will that cover the trees though? Is that enough for the future here, this next one?
It might not be, but it would
back?
keep us from potentially, like this,
Yeah.
selecting them for future business.
What I'm
Further
saying though is,
Yeah.
on this one though, what's the 5% hold on this next current one? Is that the same thing, the bid bond?
Correct. It would be the same. So, and we've never had a problem. I mean, maybe in this being the first year, and they still, like I said, they are in the warranty, and you're right, they wouldn't plant them in the summer anyways. See how this pans out, but if we need to potentially go to 10% or more in the future, that might be something to look at.
Well, is there a minimum threshold that if we would go after them for a breach warranty, if not responsive, do we have a minimum threshold that, if the 5% only covers $1,500, but it's going to cost us $10,000 to replace the trees, are we going to go after them for breach of warranty?
I think at that point, if we don't get a response from, like I said, I think they still have about 2 or 3 months before they're out of their 1-year warranty period. If we don't get anywhere with them, then we'll talk to Kevin and ask our village attorney for what our legal recourses would be.
When you say it's up 10%, you said it's 20%, you said versus 10% of ones not surviving. What's that, 5 more trees or 2 more trees, or what
It depends, obviously, on how many trees were planted last year. I don't have, this year's program was similar, I believe, so it was 100 trees, so 10%, 10 trees.
And what are the trees, $200 a piece? I don't even know what they,
That's what I'm saying. So like, whether it's $1,500 or $2,000, it might not be that far off from.
or maybe if it's 20 trees and,
I think that the hard part would be, as you know, the cost of the tree. If you have to hire another company and the labor gets put in there, and you're not bidding them out in bulk, you might not get that $200 rate. You might get a $300 rate a tree.
Well, that's something to solve at the
right?
next opportunity.
Yeah, I mean,
No other discussion. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Trustee Gately?
yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Carroll?
Yes.
Trustee Curtis?
Yes.
Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
Trustee Gavino?
Yes.
Item number 2, Chief Fisher.
Thank you, Mayor. This item is regarding the approval of police squad vehicle purchases from Morrow Brothers Ford in the amount of $75,556. We've got two 2014 Chevy Caprice squads. They're our last two Caprices to get rid of that are slated to be replaced due to age, mileage, wear, and tear. Staff is seeking approval to replace the two vehicles with two Ford utility all-wheel drive patrol vehicles, which is what our fleet is made of now. The total cost for the two vehicles is $75,556. The amount budgeted for the vehicles is $85,000. The purchase is to be made through Morrow Brothers Ford in Greenfield, Illinois. Morrow Brothers won the state bid pricing for the Ford vehicles, and they're a state bid vendor that we've purchased vehicles from before in the past. One vehicle is slated to be put into the patrol fleet. The other will be used in the investigations and crime scene processing unit area. I'm recommending that the authorization to purchase the two all-wheel drive Ford utility vehicles in the amount of $75,556 from Morrow Brothers Ford.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. I couldn't figure out why one was $20 or $30 more than the other one.
Yeah, the other one, actually, the one that we're not putting in the patrol fleet is the one that's a little bit more, because it's the interior of it's a little bit different. But on the other hand, to put the lights and the equipment on it is much cheaper than the patrol unit.
Okay. They're not the same, then.
No.
No other discussion. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Trustee Carroll?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Gately?
Yes.
Trustee Curtis?
Yeah.
Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
And Trustee Gavino?
Yes.
Item 3, Chief.
Thank you, Mayor. This item is regarding the approval of police Starcom radio purchase from Minor Electronics Corporation in the amount of $77,894.83. I don't know if you remember, but back in February or March at one of the meetings when we were going over the budget, I mentioned that a lot of area police departments and dispatch units were going to a radio known as a Starcom radio. That means that we could talk and have communication with basically every police department in the area, especially important in case of an emergency, so that we can talk to them and they can talk to us. With the radios we have now, we can't do that. We're not even able actually to talk to the North Aurora Fire Department. We would have to go through their dispatch, which they are going to the Starcom radio, so we will be able to do that. All the Tri-Cities, Kane County Sheriff's Office, Condell County Sheriff's Office, State Police, and other areas are going to have the Starcom radios. The current radios we have now, if they break, they're so old that and the technology is old, but the radios themselves can't be replaced. You can't get parts for them or anything like that either. So the original budgeted amount was $72,000, but it was found out that a lot of the departments and dispatch units are adding in what's known as an encryption to the radio, and that means that, like, if you're sitting at home with a scanner, you can't hear the radio traffic, which to me is for safety purposes. People don't know you're coming, they don't know where you're at, they don't know what you're getting dispatched to. That added an additional $6,690.83. Again, this is the total. It's a state bid purchase through Minor Electronics, who we've done business with before. They're a state bid company, and the total amount for the purchase is $77,894.83.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
What was the budgeted amount? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was $72,000. They came in at, like, originally without that encryption at like 71 something, but they budgeted 72 for it.
We still have a different radio for Aurora and Naperville, do we not?
Yeah, we'll remain with the same one with Aurora, yeah.
Now, is this new one a digital, or is it,
Yeah, it's digital, yeah.
okay.
Versus analog.
Any other discussion? Clerk call the roll, please.
Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
Trustee Gafino?
Yes.
Trustee Curtis?
Yes.
Trustee Carroll?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Gately?
Yes.
Item number 4, Mr. Young, it's different to see you sitting in that seat.
Good to see you, Paul.
Haven't seen Paul in a while.
So number 4 is yours.
Number
Number four, we are seeking approval of a bid with Lane Christensen Company for well number 8 and 9 pumps and motors in the amount of $594,000. As you might recall, we drilled the 2 wells over the last year. This will be the 3rd contract of 4 that it will take to get these wells all developed and finished and actually be able to use them. The other contract earlier was the transmission main, which the contractor has the east side done, and he's returning this week. We hope it's dry enough from well number 8 to run that transmission main because it's by the wetlands there by Oberweis. So they're working on that. But in this event here, our base bid was for specific equipment, which we use throughout the village here. And we had 4 companies bid this project. The other 3, other than Lane Christensen, could only bid on the alternate as they're not certified to use and purchase this equipment that we use. So we wanted to look at an alternate bid for a Sunstar motor. As you can see, Municipal Well and Pump came in as the low bid with an alternate, but they did not meet the apprenticeship or training program certification. So the next one was only $2,000 off, again with an alternate. So we are seeking to go with the $594,000 bid from Lane Christensen Company and use the Byron Jackson motor and pumps that we use currently.
Motion approved.
Second.
Discussion? Clerk call the roll, please.
Trustee Carroll?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Gately?
Yes.
Trustee Curtis? Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
Trustee Gafino?
Yes.
All right, item number 5, Mr. Hannah.
Thank you. Item number 5 is approval of a resolution approving revisions to the Human Resources Manual. A couple items for consideration. As the board is aware, this manual governs employee benefits for non-union employees and other terms and conditions of employment. One of the items relates to new reporting requirements the state has issued. The state has issued what's called GATA, Grant Accountability and Transparency requirements, and they require us or encourage us to have several policies in place governing all sorts of things such as internal control and purchasing and other guidelines. One policy that we did not have that they recommended was having something written down which gives employees instructions on how to report fraud, waste, and abuse that they suspect is going on. So we've drafted a policy, and the policy spells out what employees should do, who should they contact, responsible department head or external party, and then talking about the protections afforded to people that are making a report in good faith. So that's really the biggest change to the manual. The other change in this resolution is related to our vacation buyback program. We instituted this program about 4 years ago where non-union employees are able to buy back a limited number of vacation hours at the end of the year. This has turned out to be good. Gives the employees flexibility, but also gives us, the employer, some additional flexibility to deal with certain situations where an employee wasn't able to use all their vacation time during the year. So this proposed change would increase that from 40 hours to 60 hours, being the maximum number of hours that an employee could buy back. At the Government Operations Committee, where we discussed these things, we also discussed some changes to sick leave accrual and maximum accrual, but we've elected to hold back consideration until we get some more information to bring to the committee for discussion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Clerk call the roll, please.
Trustee Gately?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Carroll?
Yes.
Trustee Curtis? Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
And Trustee Capino?
Yes.
Item number 6, Mr. Toth.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Item number 6 is an ordinance approving the acquisition of the property located at 10 South Lincoln Way and contract for acquisition of the property in the amount of $104,400. This has been with the executive session on several occasions. The contract, which is included in the packet tonight, has a closing date tentative for September 20th. And if you've driven by the site, they've already removed the fence off the property.
Motion approved.
Second.
Discussion.
I have a question about the structure. I believe you had mentioned last meeting that they were going to be leaving the concrete slab foundation.
No.
Whatever happened with that? Are we going to be removing it after the closing, or?
No, so what happened was we discussed it on August 5th. The intent was to add the additional cost under the contract. So the property owner, as of right now, or the seller, is to remove it. So what happens is they have to remove the building, which is still there, and the substructure or the foundation of the building before we close on the property.
Thank you.
The fence was down today.
Oh, great.
Any other discussion? Clerk call the roll, please.
Trustee Capino?
Yes.
Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
Trustee Curtis?
Yes.
Trustee Carroll?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Gately?
Yes.
Item number 7, one more for Mr. Young.
Yes, item number 7, we're seeking a motion authorizing the village administrator to be able to procure replacement parts for well number 4 in the amount estimated of $25,000. This will exceed his normal spending limit via our human resource manual or purchasing policy, excuse me. If you had a chance to look over the quick memo I was able to put together, we've been working on well number 4's variable frequency drive. It's a big electronic unit that helps control through our SCADA a slower start for the well pump and motor, makes it easier on the water hammer to the system and not when wells come on and off. It's a pretty integral part of the operation there for the well. We've been working on this, and this is putting this well out of service for us because it's acting up, starting and stopping on its own and doing a lot of funny stuff. So we've had electricians here. I've had the SCADA people here. And we've been on the phone with technicians from the company that makes this product. We are finding out that it's very near, if not the end of its life, if its lifespan there. So one of our options is, and we've been researching over the last couple weeks, is how much would a new unit be for that? And we're working on that. But we're looking that it might be around $17,000 to $19,000, and then installation by a certified the actual energetics people are certified to install that and gain us an extra year of warranty with that, increasing that new unit to 3 years warranty. So that is why we're coming to you today. Plus this part we can also get within 4 to 5 days and get this well back up and running. And I don't know if I mentioned it in here, but we're down to only 3 active working wells for us right now.
Yeah.
And I'm pumping as much as we hit 2.7, almost 2.8 million one day, and 2 days before that it was 2.629 million. So we're going through a lot of water. We can be over 1 million gallons additional per day than our normal daily average that we pump due to lawn watering and stuff. So this is not the time to have a well out of service.
No.
And no
Right.
redundancy. So that is why we were coming to you today and asking for this.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
So without this BFD, we can actually cause more damage to our original piping and all of our lines, correct?
Yeah, this VFD is built with the whole well system now, so it controls, and we do have another well that actually does not run off of VFD. It wasn't part of that at the design. So, and essentially when that was put in, it actually gave us like 3 water main breaks almost in a row due to aged water main right by it though also, so we changed that. If it's by a tower close enough to a tower where it has that cushion. That helps, but we found the design with having a variable frequency drive unit along with our well helps it start at a slower pace and then increase when the water gets up to the top. So yeah, that's.
Yeah, otherwise it's like a surge, right?
Yeah,
It just
there's
hits.
surges. There's other places that uses like blow-off valves and closes those slowly and that, but the village here, we have 3 VFDs.
Yeah.
One for well 7, one for 5, and one for well 4.
So we don't spend this 25,000, it can cost us a lot more. That's where
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
going.
very much so.
Yeah.
And what's difficult is changing parts out in this existing VFD we have. We've tried a couple different options there, not very expensive options to hopefully get this to run. And it doesn't act up all the time. So when we start it up, we can run it. And we ran it one day for 7 or 8 hours while we were there kind of babysitting it. And it never acted up, so we shut it down. We tried it again the next day, and then within like 5 hours, it just totally cut out on us and went to restart again on its own. So yeah, we don't want to do that kind of damage to the rest of the equipment.
Essentially, this item on the agenda tonight is the reason we revised the agenda. We put the agenda out Thursday afternoon, and about 20 minutes maybe after we put the agenda out, Paul came to me with a solution for the well that we've been working on for a few days. And rather than possibly have to go the emergency purchase route, we were able to revise the agenda and get this on. We didn't know what the actual fix was, but by giving me this dollar amount, we have a solution that we think's in place. And even we're 95% confident that it's a problem being fixed, but even if we're not, the one that's there needs to be replaced anyways because it's reached its lifespan. So by doing this, we're going to have to replace it anyway. So this is just our way to order it. Literally tomorrow morning, we'll be ordering it and getting it in.
Very good. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
Trustee Curtis? Yes. Trustee Gafino?
Yes.
Trustee Carroll?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
And Trustee Gately?
Yes.
Chair, not me.
All right. I have no old business. Last Friday, early morning, Chief Fisher and Administrator Bosco and I went to School District 129 for their beginning of the school kickoff at West Aurora High School. And so they had the 18,000 teachers at the high school, and very enthusiastic and energetic, and it was really great to be there and see them ready for school. So they had the band playing, but they had all the drums on the stage where we were sitting. So they passed out earplugs for us. So and then the rest of the band came down the aisles, and that was really they did a heck of a job. So that was our exciting end of the week. Committee reports. Trustee comments. Mr. Bosco?
Just two quick things. First, the silo update. I have a meeting scheduled on Wednesday to meet with the low bidder from the silo project. We're sitting down with them to try to ascertain some of the reasons why, how we can get the bid more in line, what the bid price was to what our estimate was. By working with one company, we're hoping potentially to see if there's cost savings there to hiring more like a design build, where you hire a contractor to come in, look at the specs, and kind of value engineer everything backwards so that they can see where you can save money and then get to a more reasonable number. And if we can get there, then bring that contract forward to the village board. So that's one thing that's a quick update. Also, I want to just clarify under the tree bid from earlier tonight, I said 5%. I kept saying 5% bid bond. If anything, it would most likely be a 5% performance bond. As soon as I got done speaking, bid bonds are usually only to secure the actual bidding process. Performance bond would back the work. In this case, I'm not sure we have that. That's what I was told earlier. If anything, we may have held 5% in retainage. That's typically what we do with public works projects. So we just don't make the final payout. But I don't know what the status of it is. But ultimately, what we'll do is we'll keep working with the company that we have, and if they don't replace the dead trees, then we meet with Attorney Drendel and come up with our how we go forward. But for the most part, this will be something that we'll definitely look at to maybe strengthen language in future bids.
Very good. Attorney General?
No report.
Fire District, Mr. Bankowski.
No report, thank you.
Village Departments, Finance, Mr. Hannah?
We are just been busy getting ready for our annual audit. They're going to be here next week. Overall, the numbers so far are looking pretty in line with what we projected, probably sliding towards more in the black than we anticipated for the general fund. So that's good news, and the village continues to remain in very good financial shape.
Very good. Community Development, Mr. Toth.
No report.
Police, Chief Fisher.
No report, sir.
Public Works, Steve.
The Village Hall sign is almost done, the new sign. As of today, they put the logo and the lettering up. Tomorrow, I believe they're putting the aluminum cap on top, and that should be done. Also, paving is, it's getting close to the start of school, and they started paving around Jewel and Fern today. I was told that they anticipate having the binder courses done by tomorrow, and they are starting the entire Summerwind subdivision, I believe, tomorrow.
Very good. We have no executive session. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourning. The Committee of the Whole meeting will start shortly.